aesthetics? Like, is aesthetics a good reason to train?
Yeah, for some people it is. I think no matter what age you are, right? Like, people have goals, and I think we have to respect those goals, right? And appreciate people's goals and not look at them like, that's a super self-serving goal and that only serves yourself. And where is that going to lead you in 10 years and stuff like that? I think as coaches, we have to have that in the back of our minds and we have to talk our clients through that stuff. But who are we to say, um, no, that's the wrong answer. Like you shouldn't get into this just to look better. I do think we have to give them we have to challenge them is what I should say. We should challenge goals all the time, no matter what those goals are or how aligned or misaligned we think those goals are. It's always beneficial to challenge people's goals in a tactful way, right? To just kind of dig in and be like, why do you actually want to do this thing? But at the end of the day, I think a lot of people get into fitness for aesthetics, and I all of this entire list that we go through, I think I'll have like the same answer of like I think it's okay if people get into fitness for these reasons because what does that mean? That means that more people are moving, that means that more people are exercising and more people are will have the opportunity to one day appreciate fitness for what we appreciate it for. So I think there's some misguided aesthetics goals, right? Where it's like, I want to do this thing and I want to do it in this very particular way to get to this outcome in 6 months. And then I'm not really thinking past that 6 months, but that's where we have to have those conversations with clients on. But there also are some, really good things that come from people just feeling like they look better, self-confidence, comfort in their own skin, like a lot of things, right? Where I don't think we can like, bash those. And I know we're not trying to do that today, but I think aesthetics is probably the biggest reason that people get into fitness. I want to lose weight, I want to look better. And down the road we can connect to, maybe you losing that, 5% of body fat or whatever it is. It's like you may actually feel better too because of XYZ.
Yeah, I think the thing I'd really like to challenge around aesthetics is the idea that there is one way to look. And
Hmm.
I think the fitness industry for a long time has pushed forward this ideal of what a male or a female should look like, what healthy is, the idea that healthy looks one way. And so I don't mind if my clients want to change their body in some way and have a goal and a good reason to do so. But I do like to challenge them on, exactly what that looks like. And is this body composition change they're seeking actually connected to health? If someone wants to compete in bodybuilding or they just really want to lean out and they have a great reason for it, fine. But again, I do like to challenge the notion that being leaner or putting on more mass, whatever it might be, is actually the healthiest thing for an individual.
Yeah, I think we have to look at it more as is it unhealthy to do this, right? Because when we actually dig down and we dig into most clients' outcomes based on where they're at now, I think we'd be not surprised when it's like, you actually would be healthier if you lost 5 pounds. You would be healthier if you maybe had a little bit more muscle mass, just looking at where you are, what you do, how you feel on a daily basis. But I think, like you said, like when we start getting into the performance realm of like, or not performance, but competition realm in aesthetics, that's when it starts to get dangerous, right? It's like, why the hell do you want to go from 5% body fat to 3% body fat? That's where we're starting to talk about like, health ramifications, but not a lot of people are there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people that are getting into fitness are not ultra lean, right? Not a lot of people that are getting into fitness um, have succeeded to a point in their own brains where they're like, now I just want to refine and now I want to get here and here. Like, and I'm not talking about, the dietary aspect of it because that's different, right? That's totally different when we start talking about eating disorders and losing weight by not eating food. I think this conversation is around fitness and getting into fitness and exercise, to get rid of that extra X amount of percentage of body fat or put on the extra, couple pounds or kilos of muscle mass. But I think if we ask the question to ourselves, is this an unhealthy behavior or activity? I think we're going down the right track. But it's funny because I talked to a client a couple days ago and she said, I want to look better. Like I really want to focus on, losing some body fat. improving my aesthetics. And I asked those questions. I was like, okay, question number one is, why do you want to do it? Like, I didn't like guide her around anything. I was just like, hey, why do you want to do it? And based on her response to that, I was like, that's an admirable reason. I can get that. I can get on board with that. But question number two was, what does it mean to get there? Like, what are the objective things, or even the subjective things that we can look at where we're like, okay, we're there. Now we can kind of pedal off the metal a little bit and take a more sustainable approach to this. And that's where a lot of clients get into a conundrum where they're like, ooh, I never actually thought about that. I just wanted to get leaner. So I think we have to guide them to make them understand, like, when we get here, we've succeeded. Because if we don't do that, we'll never get there. It's like this, I want to look better, I want to look better, I want to look better. And then now we start to get into that realm of being unhealthy over years and years and years.
Yeah, I think that's a great question to ask, as well as just like taking a look and asking, is this realistic? 60-year-old male who has a big, vast training history behind him, who comes to you and says, like, I want to put on 10 pounds of lean mass. It's like, that probably isn't going to happen, right?
Naturally. Yeah.
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 Or I don't know, a woman who's in her late 20s who's like wanting to have a baby and is at a healthy body fat range. She could maybe be like a little bit leaner, but she's in a healthy normative range and she wants to get pregnant. Like, is it necessarily healthy or realistic for her to drop body fat? Probably not.
Yep.
So I think asking, is it healthy and is it realistic are important questions.
We talked about it last week, right? With like energy systems training. What are you set up genetically to get there as well? Because I know a lot of people that will never be ultra lean. I know a lot of people that will never have a lot of muscle mass on them, just because their genetics say no to that, right? So that's a great question to ask. It's like, can you genetically look like this person that is like your beacon of aesthetics and why you're doing this thing, and you have their picture on the wall and you're moving, you want to move closer and closer to looking like that. It's like, that might not be possible because of your genetic makeup and how you're built and put together. And it's like, it's not a bad thing, but let's look like a better version of you, like whatever that better version of you means.